All right, y'all go ahead.
So what's the world look like between your legs out there?
We started with questions.
What's it been like playing center? Just experimenting out there.
You know, it's been a little bit different. You know, embracing the change and, you know, wherever the team needs me, and I'm just, you know, I think I'm trying out some new stuff in spring and seeing where guys fit where, and, you know, I'm just working, trying to make the team better, and just each day I'm learning new stuff, so it's a good challenge.
You doing any of your first 2 years playing center at all?
I did, I think, freshman year for like a day or two in camp. I think they kind of pulled me out of there, but yeah, having Ryan Kelly, you know, we really didn't need that. So other than that, no, I've never played center.
I know it's still early, but any feedback from the coaches so far about how you?
No, just talking about, you know, improvement and things I need to work on every day. And you know, it's so early in the spring that, you know, we're just really trying to work to get better, and me, you know, myself as well.
What's different about having Coach Key out there as opposed to Mario?
I mean, they're both great coaches, and you know, Coach Key is very hands-on, and you know, does a great job with us and very relatable. And you know, just having both those guys out there watching over the tight ends and offensive line now is just, you know, only a benefit to us. So you know, we're excited, and I think could only help having those two guys out there.
Sorry. I know you're focused just on what you're doing, but Lester Cotton, the guy's been in the program a year now. What have you seen from him, and how's he grown?
I mean, just as far as his knowledge of the game has grown a lot, and just playing the offensive line at a collegiate level, you know, it's a big step, and takes some guys longer than others. And you know, a guy like Lester, he's got all the talent in the world, and you know, he's going to have a very bright future here. And so, just seeing him on the field and seeing the stuff that he's done so early in the spring's, you know, really promising for his career. So.
How different has it been without Ryan there? I mean, obviously a guy that's been a leader, you know, starter for 3 years. It's got to, you know, kind of leave a little hole there.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, a lot of guys have been trying to step up, myself included, and we're just trying to fill that role that Ryan left. And it's, you know, pretty difficult to do that, but you know, we're trying, and just trying to make things work and get better every day and come together as a group.
How are you stepping up?
Just becoming more of a vocal leader. You know, I was always like the younger guy and stuff like that, and now some guys have left and graduated, and just trying to become more of that vocal voice in the huddle and stuff like that, and just trying to push people and push guys to practice and kind of keep how our standard has been in the past years and keep it at that high of a level. So.
Ross, I know you were playing guard, standing right next to Ryan. You're going out there and looking at the same thing that he's looking at. Do you think you got a lot of experience, I guess,
yeah,
seeing what he was doing, what you need to do now?
Yeah, I mean, just playing 15 games next to him, you kind of see the looks that he's looking at and how he's calling it, and just kind of gain some experience from that. And so I think that helps going into another year. And you know, just all those guys on the team saw what he did, you know, day in and day out too. So that is, he left a big mark on this program.
Ross, have you had any conversations with Ryan at all in the last couple of weeks as far as tips, advice, and stuff moving forward in the spring?
No, not as far as tips and advice. Just, I mean, just seeing how he's doing and how training was going, and then he's been back here, you know, for pro day and stuff like that. Just catching up with him and just, you know, having a typical conversation. So.
I know you don't want to be without Cam, but is it any way helpful, beneficial that he's out, that gives some guys looks and some experience?
I mean, just like you said, just having another guy step up and just gaining that experience. So, you know, if something would happen in the season, you know, that guy's ready to go, and he's been running with the first team, and we're comfortable with him in there. So, you know, it always hurts to have Cam out, but it gives another guy an opportunity to step up.
How is Cam doing right now?
How's he doing?
Yeah, just like kind of, you know, different role, kind of not being in the mix, but rehabbing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he's doing good. You know, I want to say how his rehab's doing. You know, I don't really keep up with that, but he's on the field with us, you know, watching us and giving us tips and seeing how we're doing. And he's still being a vocal leader from the side, so it's good to see that.
What about a couple of new guys like Charles and Jonah? I mean, those obviously fresh guys out there, but guys are being counted on to do some kind of big things.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a great job, I think, as far as learning the things quickly, and you know, they're just kind of getting thrown in there, and for them to be doing the job that they're doing, you know, really says a lot about them as a player. And so, you know, I'm just excited to see their progress this spring. That's kind of what it's all about.
When did you find out you were going to be working with center?
talked to Coach Saban with our players meeting, or just, you know, the individual player meeting after the season, and he just asked what I thought about it, and, you know, I said I was open to whatever helped the team out, so that was that.
Does it feel weird at all? I mean, it feels like just yesterday you were a redshirt guy, now you're one of the older guys.
I don't know, I mean, I'm one of the older guys, right? Redshirt sophomore, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely a different role, and still trying to adjust to that role, and, you know, instead of just kind of following the older guys, you know, now the younger guys are following what we do, so we got to set an example and keep this program at a high level.
I gotta ask, were you rooting for Northern Iowa?
I was. I was about to go out to eat, and we were up by like 12 or whatever, and there was a minute left, and I said, no, just wait, we're going to watch this, and I thought there's no way it's going to happen. I mean, nothing really, you know, you can say. I just feel bad for those guys.
I know that you're here, but did any of the guys give you, you know, a hard time about that?
Yeah, I mean, some of the guys I was hanging out with, Bozeman and Bateman, I mean, they kind of, every time I talk about Iowa or something, like the state of Iowa, they kind of make fun of me and just give me a hard time and always root against the other team. So
how has Bradley Bozeman progressed throughout the spring so far?
I mean, you know, it's only been 2 practices, but kind of hard to see. We'll see today once the pads get on. But, you know, he's done a nice job. Just he's one of the older guys as well, and just the experience that he has, you know, is just great on the offensive line and helping Lester next to him. And I think they'll just propel each other up. And, you know, he's really done a good job, and he's always been a good player for us. So.
You kind of talked about it, you know, you can really tell once the pads get on, you can't really tell. As a player, how much do you look forward to this day, finally getting to really kind of smack some of the players around?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you waited for a while to do this, and just really kind of gauge where your game's at and how you progress in the off season. And, you know, as far as an offensive lineman, this is a big day for us. Just you can't really tell without pads. You know, you're just kind of out there locking up, and so, you know, we're excited and we're ready to get after it.
It's going to be a completely new look in the backfield this year. I know it was a limited sample size last year, but just your impressions of Damien and Bo and what they can do.
You know, they've done a great job so far, and as far as just hitting the hole and running hard and stuff like that, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Like I said, once they get pads on and we go, you know, into scrimmages and stuff like that this spring, and I think they'll, you know, do a great job for us. And
All right.
thank you.